Off the ball. This is Newstalk.
You're welcome back. Now, it was the third day of the High Court civil action for damages against Conor McGregor today. Frank Greaney, Newstalk courts correspondent, is on the line. Frank, you might just bring us up to speed on what happened in court today.
Well, it was the continued cross-examination of the woman bringing these claims against not only Conor McGregor, but also another man called James Lawrence from Rafters Road in Drimna. She has made allegations of rape against both men, and she is suing them for damages. She has been in the witness box since Tuesday afternoon now, so her cross-examination continued today. At the moment, Remy Farrell, who was the senior counsel representing Conor McGregor, he is cross-examining her about her evidence, about the evidence that she gave to the jurors, but also about other exhibits in the case and guarded statements that she would have given back about a month after the alleged rape is said to have taken place. I suppose from the defence's perspective, one of the most significant things that happened today was Conor McGregor's version of events was put to the witness, Nikita Hand, that took up a large part of this afternoon. Conor McGregor is clearly denying the allegations. He claims that they had sex, but that it was consensual. And his version of events in full is as follows. And again, this was pushed to Nikita Hand, and probably worth mentioning, Owen, that clearly this is a case where details of a sexual nature are being shared in court. I'll tread very carefully, but just if any listeners may be distressed by the following piece, because it was put to her that Conor McGregor accepts that the four of them, he, James Lawrence, Nikita Hand, and Nikita's work colleague, were all in the sitting room area of a penthouse suite in the Beacon Hotel that he had brought them to on the afternoon of the 9th of December 2018. He says that at one point he went into the bedroom that he was using, one of the bathrooms, in a bedroom in that penthouse suite, and he claims that Nikita Hand followed him in. He was using the bathroom when he said that she approached him from behind. He claims that they then started kissing. He said that she largely took her own clothes off, that she performed oral sex on him at that point, and that they then moved to the bed where they had what he described as consensual sex. He claims that they had consensual sex then again for a second time. And at some point, again, this is Conor McGregor's version of events, so it was being put to her by his lawyer. He claims that she went into an adjoining room, this sitting room area where her friend was supposedly having sex with the other named defendant, James Lawrence, that she walked in on them and that she was messing and slagging them about that. She denied all of that, by the way. She wouldn't accept any of that was being put to her. She described it as like a made-up story is how she put it, because her version of events, which has already been put to the jury, is quite different. We heard that this all happened on the back of an all-night party. She'd been at her work Christmas party. She worked as a hair colorist in a salon in Goatstown. They went to a Christmas event after work on the Saturday, which was the 8th of December of 2018. Went to a work party afterwards. They went to a pub in Goatstown. They stayed there into the early hours. They then went back to the salon, kept the party going. And by morning time, it was just herself and one of her colleagues there. She had been in contact through Instagram with Conor McGregor, and that is accepted. Conor McGregor then came at her request. She reached out. Conor McGregor came with his driver, picked them up. They picked up James Lawrence. They then ended up in the penthouse suite of the Beacon Hotel at about 12:15 or 12:30 in the afternoon. He was there himself for a number of hours, but she claims that he made a request of her, what she described as a lewd request of her to perform a sex act on him. She refused. She said that he made another advance in the bedroom, that he tried to kiss her, that she was pushing him away, that she was resisting, that she told him that she wasn't comfortable. She knew his partner Dee. In fact, we learned today that she had gone over to Las Vegas in 2015, 3 years before all of this. Conor McGregor, you may remember, was fighting in Vegas in 2015. She travelled over there with Dee, his partner, and her family. Now, she accepted all of that, but she said that she didn't actually go to Conor McGregor's fight. But she claims then that in the bedroom, that when she resisted his advances, that he simply pinned her onto the bed, put his full body weight on top of her, and that he raped her, that he had sex with her without her consent. He strongly denies it. As I say, that version of events was put to her today, but She claims that it was a made-up story, in her words.
One of the important pieces to mention as well that occurred today is that there was a reminder from the judge to the jury to ignore the DPP case because evidence or information, I should say, from that has necessarily been involved over the past 48, 72 hours.
Yeah, and I suppose it is really important to point out, and I'm at pains to do so covering this case, that this is a civil legal action. This isn't a case, a criminal case. Criminal charges have never been brought against either Conor McGregor or the second named defendant, James Lawrence. What's happening here is Nikita Hand is suing them for damages in a civil action. She's brought this. The lawyers are representing her, not the people of Ireland, as would be the case in a criminal case. And yesterday what happened was a number of correspondence between Nikita Hand and the Director of Public Prosecution's office was open to the jurors. She did make a complaint to Gardaí maybe a few weeks or a month or so after the alleged rape took place. She did make a formal complaint. They investigated the case. What happened then was the Garda investigation file goes to the DPP, and as is the case with any other criminal investigation, it is ultimately up to the DPP as to whether or not criminal charges are brought. They were not brought in this case, and Nikita Hand wanted to know why. Those letters were opened up in court yesterday. She was told by the DPP that essentially there was insufficient evidence, that the DPP wasn't going to pursue the prosecution because it didn't feel that there was a reasonable prospect of a conviction. She expressed her shock, her disappointment with all of that. And again, all of this was presented to the jurors today. And as you rightly say, the presiding judge in this civil legal action, Mr. Justice Alex Owens, pointed out to the jurors that the fact that criminal charges weren't brought and the DPP didn't bring a criminal prosecution is irrelevant.
How long more can we expect this to go on for now, Frank?
It's been set down for 2 weeks. It'll start a little bit later tomorrow morning. The court won't sit on Monday. So it's hard to tell whether or not they are on track to finish within 2 weeks. That will develop over time. We'll have a better idea, I suppose, next week. But she is still being cross-examined by Remy Farrell. Again, he's Conor McGregor's barrister. That will resume tomorrow. Once he's finished cross-examining her, then the barrister representing the other named defendant will be given an opportunity to cross-examine her. If any issues arise, he's under no obligation to do so, but he will be given an opportunity to question her if he so wishes.
Okay. Frank Greaney, Newstalk Courts correspondent, thanks a million. Now, if you've been affected or distressed by anything in this report, you can get help through the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre at drcc.ie or on 1800 77 8888. We'll take a quick break.
Off the ball on Newstalk.